what letter that is, Grover?
I think so.
What letter is this?
Q.
Q. This is indeed a Q.
That all men and women are created equal.
Oh, yeah.
But those ideals have also been tested here in Europe and around the world. Those ideals have often been threatened by an older, more traditional view of power. This alternative vision argues that ordinary men and women are too small-minded to govern their own affairs. That order and progress can only come when individuals surrender their rights to an all-powerful sovereign.
Wow.
So you know what he's talking about now? He's talking about the globalist agenda, and there's a few words for that: the ancient hope, the new world order, and it has other biblical names to it as well. But man, so we can see that in that speech, the very opening after his bantering to the crowd and joking around. You know, right before he gives that initial statement, you know, he definitely addresses the people who are in the room who he's talking to in that theater. You know, you've got he first says, "Your Majesties," is the very first people he addresses in starting the speech. Because the speech doesn't start until around 3 minutes when he acts. Because, you know, the first 3 minutes he's warming up the crowd, talking, hey, how you guys doing? People get, you know, that. And then schmoozing. But the second he says, "Your Majesties," and he goes down in ranking order of power. "Your Majesties," and he says a couple other people, and blah, 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 and then he says distinguished guests. Yes, and then he starts rolling into it. And it's interesting because he's talking to people who are kings and queens and dukes and lords of lands, and he's saying, there's this old idea that the common person, the too simple-minded to handle their own affairs, and we need to surrender all of our rights to
Just
a
turn over
sovereign
your thoughts and personality to us, because that's what it's all about, folks. There is no gun control. It's all about people control. They really want to know what your inner workings are, what you're thinking before you do it. And it's like, that's impossible. Well, with the aid of technology and what they think, the ancient hope, it's been recited by, we could probably find most every president has said it, something similar. The words have come out. It's crazy to think that, just turn over your personal sovereignty, or you know, turn over your rights, your
rights to a sovereign, not to a sovereignty, but to a sovereign. That's exactly what is Q's last post, his very last post, what video he posted. JFK speaking the declaration. No, it was a speech, and it was another speech that he personally gave. He just was reading the Declaration of Independence. And it was talking about, hey, by the way, we didn't want to surrender our personal rights to a sovereign. We don't. No. Yeah, we want to have our own rights. In fact, even go beyond that. We want to have each person be his own sovereign.
Yes,
that's why people don't understand. Like back in the Wild West and the cowboys and Indian days,
it talks about your property is, you know, your property is kind of like
private property. Yes, every man is the king of his castle. Some castles aren't as big as others, and some moats aren't as large as, you know, but every man is the king of his own castle. That's why police officers just can't drive onto your property and be like, hey, let me see your ID. And they can't do that kind of stuff to you because we have rights as individuals. As I'm walking around, as a bag of flesh walking around, we have rights. And for anybody to even assert the notion that we should give those up because we're too simple-minded to conduct our own personal affairs. That means paying our bills, feeding our children, teaching our children, feeding ourselves. That means you don't know what the truth is. We're going to tell you exactly what you said.
Nobody voted these people in based on these ideas. And if somebody doesn't necessarily say all that stuff when they're running for election to be, whether it was back in the past or here in today's current times, folks, you know, then they become the head, the most powerful person, president of the United States, and then they start, you know, their own opinions start coming out of like, well, you don't really need your weapons, or you don't really need to be free. That's just a,
All
you
that,
know, an illusion. You don't need freedom.
Yes,
Come
yes.
on, just hand over your freedom and your liberties, and we'll take it from here.
I think
That's
you know.
the
I think it was
exact
on one of your
opposite,
other
you know?
shows. I think it was on one of your other shows that we were trying to look up that Hegelian dialectic, um, and we couldn't, because that really flows into really control of, because they're the powers that be. These people. I mean, you have Obama telling you how there's this old idea, and I don't think he used old, but how he worded it was like, this is what we're doing, and he didn't use it as past tense. He started saying it as it's present, and that's what's happening now. And I'm
Yeah.
like, well, I know that doesn't happen here where I'm from, because I know I'm a king in my own castle where I'm remotely communicating to you with. You know, I have the freedoms to do that, and it's crazy that, you know, a past president that we know that was in the White House for 8 years. That regime was 8 years, and to think that, that person thought like that, was controlled like that, and ew, it just, it's amazing. It really kind of makes you do a double take of the people for the last 8 years who guilted you about not voting for Obama because either you were of your lack of melatonin, or the fact that you didn't want justice for the something that happened to somebody who you had no idea 300-400 years ago.
Yeah.
And that's
Well,
it's
and they said the
amazing.
same people that voted Obama in are the same ones that voted Trump in, because it's America. These same people, you know, you didn't. If it was truly a racist America, you wouldn't have had the racist people just sitting at home and not doing anything, and then letting Obama win, and then 8 years go by, twice, by the way, and then they all come out of the
Yeah,
woodwork for Trump. You know, like, well, this
for
time we're
Trump. Yeah, for
gonna
some
vote. You
odd
know,
reason. Yeah,
it's not what happened. It's just people didn't see progress. They didn't. If you're truly watching, you didn't see much get done, folks, in 8 years. People can
you saw a
argue,
lot
oh,
of
blah blah blah,
partying
you
and
know, and yeah, it's just we're seeing actual somebody that campaigned on stuff and is literally knocking them down like dominoes. Where's a wall or this and that? Well, there's monies. There's been what 8 or 9 test ones. I think they built chunks already. There's awards
I
are
was
given
just
out
gonna
to,
say,
where are they
we
at
in
in
the
that?
I know in the military we have, and you know this term very well. There's one thing when you're planning a strategic operation and it's in the planning phase, but when you report to your superiors and you use things like, we got boots on the ground, sir, that's indicating you have physical assets at that location. Army, Navy,
Yeah,
Marines, Air Force, doesn't matter. We've got boots on the ground. That means we
brick
have
and
the
mortar.
assets currently. Yes, yes, we have brick and mortar going on there. And we're at that stage now. We're no longer in the, you know, in the pre-planning where it's like it's all in logistical and look at this, look at
Daydreaming
that.
to
It's
planning
there's
to
no, yeah, there's literal empirical evidence and traction, if you will, of what's happening. And it's to a point to now that, and we've said this multiple times, that in what's coming out, what has been coming out, and then if you talk to anybody, then what's happening in 2018, right now, this very day, our economy, the money, how many manufacturing coming back. I don't know anybody in my own, you know, my own hometown. There's hiring signs all over, and all of a sudden the unemployment's going down, and I mean everything is. We're starting to hear the word prosperity, and it's coming, and we're already feeling that in people. There's tax cuts, and this isn't temporary. And I think Trump was pretty clear that the things that he's doing is not just for the next 2 years or the next 6 years possibly, and it's just not his administration and not the next administration, the administration after that. The things that he's doing is basically giving back the government to the people in such a way that no other leader that precedes him, and even himself on his second term, could
yeah.
even revoke what he's done. So think about that. If people are like, oh, it's all for this. No, He's putting things in place right now that will even put a guardrail or a boundary of what even he can't do in his next
Yeah,
administration.
you cannot rebuke
I,
facts
I
that
mean,
go down on
yes, that's
paper with bars and statistics.
signatures
There's
and
just
it
no
going
way
to
to.
legislative, you know.
I think we'll definitely see that unfold exactly that way. I'm just looking, kind of going to scan here. I thought this one was interesting, how Trump's move to revoke critic security clearances could backfire. I mean, I don't even click in on these articles, but I like to read
I
the.
know the Kavanaugh, Judge Kavanaugh thing has been really sparking off. They just hate this guy because he's like so about the people and in the Constitution,
Oh yeah,
you
he's a
know.
he abides by the
He's a
Constitution. So
constitutionalist. That's exactly what he is, you know.
security clearances, how do they work?
Oh, well,
Starting to get into all
they're
that
very
now, huh?
long. Oh, I guess people don't even understand that this stuff. Some of this stuff takes years. I mean, years to get. This isn't just, hey, here's your security clearance. You know, I know guys that are almost lifers who are just now getting their security clearance after, 15 years, 15, some of them
Yeah.
15 to 18 years. I'm like, man, buddy, you just got it. Oh, dude, you have no idea. I know. I've been out for a long time.
All right, let's see here. All right, nothing real major. Let's go to the man himself that just drops these tweets every so often.
Some got some jewels inside there, a little bit of
Here, read
diamonds
that
in the
one
rough,
there.
if you know. It says, okay. So President Obama knew about Russia before the election. Why didn't he do something about it? Why didn't he tell our campaign? Because it's all a big hoax. That's why he thought Crooked Hillary was going to win.
You want to read? We'll read like one or two naysayers. Watch this.
All right, go nay nay. So some
Because
nay
Mitch
nays.
McConnell wouldn't let the Obama administration release the information. He threatened Obama to tell the public he was doing it to get Hillary elected. So he put the gag order out. That's why, Donald, you knew about it.
Well, look at here, Too Tall Teresa, number 60. If you knew what a gag order really consisted of, you wouldn't use that term. There's a lot of legal implications for a gag order. I do think it's kind of funny, but what's this? That reminds me of that's the Big Lebowski.
The Big
That reminds me of
Lebowski.
the
That's
dude.
John something.
John Goodman.
There you go. I
With the
couldn't
gloves
remember.
off.
All right. Whatever. I don't know. I don't know nothing about that.
Yeah, let's see. It's
So no, I really don't. So President Obama knew about. Okay, we knew
well,
that.
I mean, I think
I do know
we
that.
said we
I
talked
mean, I
about
do know
earlier.
this.
Yeah, they've been meddling with their. I mean, Russia has, China has, Iran has, a lot of people have. There you go. So the Iranian president Rouhani never ever threaten the United States again, or you will suffer suffer consequences the likes of which few throughout history have ever suffered before. We are no longer a country that will stand for your demand words of violence and death. Be cautious.
We will no longer stand for your
No longer
demented words of
demand
violence and
violence
death.
and death.
Be cautious. Wow.
Yes,
You are
yes,
an
yes,
incredible
yes.
leader with integrity and strength. Cool. I think that's a.
I think that is
Might
a
be
good
real.
one, yeah.
All right. So nothing real. All right. That's
I think
pretty
it's
tough
just,
words if that's.
I mean, dude, I mean, if he's putting out there, I mean, yeah, they'll suffer, never ever. I mean, that's kind of like, look at people, I don't know how direct you can be to somebody without doing it on an international level.
Yeah. So we now find out that it was indeed the unverified and fake dirty dossier that was paid for by crooked Hillary Clinton and the DNC that was knowingly and falsely submitted to FISA, and which was responsible for the starting the total conflicted and discredited Mueller witch hunt, which is the Russia-Trump collusion, which led to everything else. Wow. So we now find out.
Yeah. Isn't it amazing? We now can have the president talk to us directly with no filter. No filter.
Yeah,
And he's done that a few times, and people have gotten really, and even myself, very early on, was like, "Wow,
But they just turn these over to record of Congress for preservations. How much more transparent, can you be? They're out there. They are out there. Go ahead and read this one, Ben.
We got, it was classified to cover up misconduct by the FBI and the Justice Department in misleading the court by using this dossier in a dishonest way to gain a warrant to target the Trump team. Geez, for sure. Thus is a Clinton campaign document. It was a fraud and a hoax designed to target Trump. And that's what we said earlier, using the same piece of document to get those multiple renews. And it was a classified cover-up. I mean, that's what it says, a classified to cover up.
Yeah, look at that up. That very first sentence, folks, or statement. It was classified. The FBI is like, well, that's state secrets, national security, classified, and what?
Yes,
covering up how you guys were covering this up. That's classified information. That's where they're blanketing too much. JFK again. Yes. Several of his speeches. To go down a road where they're going to start blanketing everything under the name of security, and people now beg for that in the name of freedom. What they're doing. They're giving up freedoms to get more security, and the security is being made up. It's fake. It's to make you.
They're giving these. They're saying something that's, this is bad, and they want you to go this way, and so they present you with all the options that will lead this one way. Again, it's like this is. I can understand like military movements and those knowledge before those movements
like
of
that.
troops
There's
move
certain
before
things
that.
that
Highly classified.
We're all for national security and things that need to be blanketed.
And information not getting out.
They promise we won't take advantage. This would be taking advantage where if you did a lot of dirt because you're the head of the FBI, and then when people want it, you say, well, that's classified and you can't see it. They classified all this to cover up their tracks of the dirt they were doing. So that's not healthy. It's not good for anybody. It was good for them, maybe, to target Trump. So you started that, right?
Yeah, this is a Clinton campaign document. Like it was part of her campaign associate. This whole document came from.
So that wasn't even over. He left the dots and. So again, it was classified to cover up misconduct by the FBI and the Justice Department in misleading the court by using the dossier in a dishonest way to gain a warrant to target the Trump team. This is a Clinton campaign document. It was fraud and a hoax designed to target Trump, and the DOJ, FBI, and Obama gang need to be held to account. Source number 1 was a major source, avoided talking about it being the Clinton campaign behind it, misled the court to provide a pretext to spy on the Trump team. Not about Carter Page. It was all about getting Trump. Ooh.
Jeez. If you just ingest what he's trying to tell you right there.
It's everything Q's put out 2-3 months back.
Q's put out, yes, and not only that, now he's calling the gang, because that's really what it is. Is you got the gang leader, Obama there, and he's got
tell us, break it down. So if Obama's a gang leader, who was?
So if you can look at, so check us out. You guys are gonna like this. Yourselves are gonna like this. Let's go OG. So who is OG? That's Obama gang. So Obama, that's the old G, right? He's the old gangster. That's Obama gang. You got his, his generals within his gang, his vatos, and they're going to be doing all of his dirty work. And of course, if you're generals, they got to have foot soldiers, and he's got them all right here. It's the DOJ, it's the FBI, and most of these people who don't know the crimes they're committing, because they're lower foot soldiers and pawns in the gang, and they're trying to make their stripes, i.e., they want to become a sergeant, a staff sergeant, a lieutenant, They're trying to get their rank. They got families to feed. They want more money, right? Like anybody else does that has a career in the military.
Oh, yeah.
And OG's working. I'm going to start calling him that old gangster. That's what he is, man. How gangster is that? You become the president and you start flaunting it and just start doing dirty deals and be like I'm the boss. He's dropping the microphone like he's gangster. He's done it before in speeches, you know. And it's like this dude thinks that he can get away with murder, literally, because he's so gangster.
Oh,
And
yeah.
he listens to too much of his own propaganda. Or I should say his puppet master's hype on the action.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead and read that one
Carter
for
Page. Yeah, I like that. Carter Page wasn't a spy, wasn't an agent of the Russians. He would have cooperated with the FBI. If you know, it was a fraud and a hoax designed to target Trump. So we say that again. Tom Fenton. Oh yeah, we just watched a Judicial Watch. A disgrace to America. They should drop and discredit Mueller witch hunt now. Huh. Tom Fenton, huh? A disgrace to, what is that? What? Tom Fenton, target Trump. They should drop the discredited Mueller witch hunt now. That's interesting.
I don't think he's saying that against Tom Fenton.
Yeah, so Judicial Watch, not a Judicial Watch, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's just what he uncovered, and I think those are Tom Fenton's words. It's a disgrace to America.
It's a disgrace. They should drop the witch hunt now. Yeah, okay.
I think he's reciting what Tom Fenton has said over at Judicial Watch.
Yeah, because I was like, Tom Fenton, he's the man when it comes to some of this kind of stuff.
I think Trump tweets are hard to read. Somebody else was like, no, they're not. You know, and I'm like, yeah, they are. They're a little awkward.
No, yeah.
When you hear the fake news talking negatively about my meeting with President Putin and all that I gave up, remember, I gave up nothing. We merely talked about future benefits for both countries. Also, we got along very well, which is a good thing, except for the corrupt media.
Fake news.
So there you go. That's pretty self-explanatory, folks. All right, Ben's got this one.
What do we got here? A rocket has not been launched by North Korea in 9 months. 9 months, people. Yeah, I remember. Likewise, no nuclear test. Yeah, no nuclear test.
That's huge.
Japan is happy.
That's huge.
All of Asia is happy.
That's huge.
But the fake news just saying, whatever, asking me always anonymous sources, of course. I am angry because it's not going fast enough. Wrong. Very happy. I'm very happy. Yes, he is. No rockets have been launched in 9 months. I can remember when it was just, the last part of Obama's regime. It was hot and heavy. They were testing rockets and they kept on going. All of a sudden, phone calls, we're having drinks, denuclearization, everything is good. We're all happy. We're very happy.
All right, here, let me read this one. The Amazon Washington Post has gone crazy against me ever since they lost the internet tax case in the U.S. Supreme Court 2 months ago. Next up is the U.S. Post Office, which they use at a fraction of the real cost as their delivery boy for a big percentage of their packages. This is at 6:21 a.m., folks. But yeah, he's been talking about the post office losing millions because of they're even renting out their trucks. Everyone's like, when did the post office deliver on Sundays? They don't.
On Sundays, the post office is now renting their trucks out for pennies on the dollars or whatever. Yep, for the last end of Saturdays, and all of a sudden you feel Amazon. They have commercials about that, you know.
Yeah,
let's see here.
It blew my mind.
In my opinion, the Washington Post is nothing more than an expensive, the paper loses a fortune, lobbyist for Amazon. So the Washington Post is a lobbyist for Amazon. Expensive, mind you. It is used as protection against antitrust claims, which many feel should be brought, which is very true. You know, you're talking, pull up what an antitrust case is. If you have a little definition on there, that'd be a good little definition for your subscribers, your viewers.
You want me to just bring up what it means?
Just a little definition. It should be there
relating
you go,
to legislation preventing or controlling trust or other monopolies with the intention of promoting competition in business. So
no
relating,
monopolies. That's yeah. Preventing it or controlling trust with other monopolies. So Microsoft, maybe you can remember that, if people can remember Microsoft, you can't build a machine and manufacture the software. You have to do one or the other.
So here we go. Yes, there is an anti-case, a couple, probably a few of them. Slate. Let's see what it says here. An antitrust case against the retail behemoth isn't likely or obvious, but it is possible and necessary. So there must be breaking all kinds of. While the new merger must undergo federal antitrust review, the Trump administration is unlikely to challenge it. The Obama administration probably wouldn't have either, and neither would a Clinton administration. That is because, given the state of law and the attitude of our judiciary, making a case against this deal will seem very challenging. I don't know what their deal is. Amazon is enormous.
Are they trying to merge with somebody else? Another merger was going on or something of that nature?
Whole Foods. They were buying Whole Foods, remember?
Whole Foods, okay.
So that's wow. Robert would do a great job for our vets. 86.9 Okay, so we got a new Secretary of Veterans Affairs, Robert Wilkie.
Yeah. Wilkie.
6-9 vote. He'll do a great job for our vets. We also recently
he will.
We'll
definitely support him.
So just kind of doing some promoting there, and then a little video.
Definitely made in the USA. And by the way, I'm really glad that he's promoting that. Let's get those tags made in America or made in the USA again. I can remember when I was a kid, when my dad used to go to the store and go buy all of his work shirts, all of them would say, made in America, made in USA, proudly made in USA. I can remember everything was made in USA. It was refreshing to hear Trump talk today.
I remember looking at that, all my stuff one day on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Like, China? Vietnam? My dad was in Vietnam,
Yeah. It's amazing. So it was refreshing to hear him talk about, was it today or yesterday? I don't remember when he did the speech on the manufacturing, but, it was necessarily about made in America again, because I know my children don't know that to be common. Like they go to the store and it's China and Vietnam, and you're getting fruit from South Africa and bananas from Bolivia.
Oh yeah.
That's their norm. Where when I grew up, it was like, wow,
sugar
that's
cartels.
exotic.
The sugar cartels,
They got the sugar cane down there, But no, it's amazing from what's happening and going on to this new world order, and how there are these globalists for trying to get all these things tapped in using every angle possible, with Clinton as their poster child to represent everybody with all the IOUs, and with this Trump meddling in our election, which is almost anybody who has half a brain is going to know. Yes, every other country, by the way, just like we meddle in like Afghanistan's elections, Iraq's elections,
Israel.
Israel, we can go on and on and on. Other countries do try to meddle in other countries.
It's whether
election.
or not somebody's working with them. That really,
collusion.
Yes, the collusion.
That's different. We get hacked by China, all these people all the time, anyways. And it's amazing for the fact that you can try to get hacked, but getting hacked and getting all the way is a different story.
China's been on a mission for 10 years, and they've been hitting our DoD servers, and they're taking, when we look and you look deep, they're getting tech manuals for all of our equipment, like downloading our tech manuals, just trying to get the blueprints to all of our stuff.
And this is happening all the time. So to bring this up, saying, oh, there's
it's relevant to bring up the context in which they're doing it. Totally wrong. Trying to act like we know what they're doing.
You're doing it. Yeah.
A lot of people fell for it. Unfortunately, a lot of people fell for it.
Judges fell for it. Yes, shame be upon them. Yes, some be upon them for the fact that these judges, I think a
Oh,
lot of them
man.
are no longer in
Well, and they
position for
just
them judging anymore.
they need to, at this point, people, yeah, they need to point the finger back at these judges, and not just like, you're done, you don't get to do it. Like, people need to be held accountable
Yes.
at that level. It's, yeah,
You
you
can't
can't,
walk away from decisions like that because if
yeah.
you, I mean, that judge had to known when they signed that document to start to start
Dude, these
investigation
judges
on
don't
the
watch TV ever.
yeah. They had to
Come
know that that
on.
was a really heavy signature that was going to possibly be the president who they just signed away to start tapping
Hmm.
on. And then even at that time, it originally started was at the president elect, which is even then it's like you're still almost like, are you serious? This is a you better have all your evidence so rock solid, so much in a row that you're even making this accusation. You better have us all off of
Yeah, well, I
nothing.
think their plan, hopefully, what we've been told, the plan, military intelligence, they had them covered. Every little, loophole, safeguard was put into place, and they just kept blocking these people that thought they were really smart, but they were up against geniuses that planned something out that they couldn't even fathom.
I think the military has great individuals who know about asymmetric warfare,
Oh,
and if you
yes.
don't understand about that's exactly what they're doing to us on a civilian level with marketing. Marketing is asymmetric warfare done at a very low level.
Yeah.
They know what you like. They want to put up there guys like half naked women drinking beers on the beach. They're going to make commercials like that.
Yeah.
Well, the military kind of does that times 10 million when it comes to rising powers and falling powers and opening a new emerging, countries and dictatorships. And so these people are highly trained in it, and they have unlimited money and probably, I would say, most, if not all, of our media at their disposal. And it's very hard. I think that's why our president's using Twitter. There's a no filter. It's being, the second he puts something out there, it's being documented, put into Congress. And so obviously he's not, the posts he's putting out, he's, putting out things, one, how he feels, but I'm pretty sure that, unless you're going to put out something you don't have no evidence for, you're not going to just make inflammatory comments about somebody, unless you have evidence to back up your comment, especially if you're the president. So I think his with the Q coming out more on the mainstream, which is interesting.
Yeah, I think
And
everybody underestimates Trump as well. You got these normal media people from CNN, like, he's an idiot. He tweeted this morning. What does he know? We have no proof of this, folks. No proof, no proof, no proof. 3 months goes by, all this proof's dumped in their lap. They don't even,
enormous amount of proof. Yep.
yeah, he just is privy to that, folks. You got to think he is the president. He can enact certain things. Things are highlighted. The military's elevated, working in elevated ways right now. They found treasonous people at the heads of a lot of agencies, so that lifts some of these, things that we were digging into with executive orders that weren't made by Trump, and some constitutional factors as well. So when you're found to find the head of agencies treasonous or doing bad things, you can't allow that agency to investigate itself or do much more investigating until you get that fixed.
You gotta get
Otherwise, you're not going to get anywhere. So, all right, well, we're at the 35-minute mark. Let's wrap this up. We got some any closing thoughts over there, Ben?
No, I think it was. I think we pretty much covered everything we want to cover on that. Just always be aware of a lot of times what the truth is in these liars' speeches is really embedded within the body of the speech. They're not going to come out and tell you what they want to be done. They're going to have to dance around. So I just say again, put on the full armor of God. Be aware of your surroundings for the good Lord's sake. You know what I'm saying? And be aware of the information. And again, man, check it all. Don't just take our word for it. Do your own research. Empower yourself with the knowledge of truth, man. It's amazing.
All right.
So
That was Ben. We are so happy to have him with us tonight. And again, like he said, do not take our words here, folks. Do your own research, verify, listen to everybody you can, read everything you can. and you know, that you believe to be true anyway, and then, you know, don't believe it till you can verify it somehow, some way, in your own right, in your heart, how you feel, and you normally won't be wrong. Great episode here tonight. Touched base on a couple different things. We did another episode that should be up before or after this one, but we got to do a little editing because we've got a long tail end on it on accident. So, all right, folks, this is a Patriot Hour. I'm Mike, and God bless, Godspeed, and good evening to each and every one of you, and we'll see you back here at the next update video.
You know what letter that is, Grover?
I think so.
What letter is this?
Q.
Q. This is indeed a Q.
Fucking